baffling.
Peter, I will stand you a drink afterwards, and that's just about the amount of money it's
There's no need to flaunt it.
It's the first time in 15 years, I can tell you.
Victoria, as you drew Derek's attention to your slip-up there...
Yeah.
I'm not talking about your clothes, by the way.
No, don't drag it out. Come on, get it out. Goes on and on, doesn't he?
It was quite wrong that he should have challenged you, so you keep the subject, and you have 40 seconds on choosing a frock to suit me, starting now.
I think if I had to choose...
Kenneth Williams...
Hesitation.
No, of course not.
Yes, everyone agreed it was hesitation.
No, they don't. They don't.
She... Victoria.
Actually, just a bit slow after 2.5 hours on the train.
Yeah, that's right. You don't come all the way from Morecambe to be challenged for hesitation by Kenneth Williams.
No.
So only 3/4 of a second went by. So you have 39.25 seconds on choosing a frock to suit me, Victoria, starting now.
What I will do is, if I have to choose a frock to suit me, I will go to the shop that does the biggest sizes in the whole world, because it's rather difficult for me to get a frock that will fit me because of being 16 on the top and 14 on the bottom, which means I really have to have a two-piece suit, actually, if I'm going to get something that will actually fit.
Derek Nemo challenge.
Suit. Repetition of suit.
No, in two different senses. Suit to suit and suit in costume sense.
She's quite right, you know, Derek.
Doesn't matter in what sense the word's the same, and Derek's right, it was repeated, you great fool. You use it.
She's not just a pretty face, she's a very able player of the game. She's doing marvelously.
Another new rule, is it, Father?
What's that?
Another new rule.
No, it's a new guest. All the way from Morecambe. And I love the people who come from Morecambe. Right, carry on, Victoria. 25 seconds, choosing a frock to suit me, starting now.
I think what would suit me best would be a very long one that covered my face.
Derek
as
Nemo
well.
challenge. Yes, that's right. I give it to you that time, Derek.
But it's
Now.
in the title. Your messenger wrote me a letter. He said you can say it if it's in the title.
Yes, you can. So you slipped up again.
Oh.
It's in the title.
Oh, that's it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm
Choosing
very
a frock
sorry.
to suit me. Suit the word suit. You can use it.
Yes, all right. I've made an absolute mess of it.
Victoria, you're equal in the lead now with Peter Jones. It's incredible. You have 23 seconds on choosing a frock to suit me, starting now.
If I had to pick a garment to flatter my figure, I think I would go to a shop in Regent Street or Oxford Street.
Peter Jones, the challenge.
She has mentioned shop before.
Yes, and street. So, Peter, you have the subject now, and I'd love to hear what you're going to tell us in 16 seconds on choosing a frock to suit me, starting now.
Well, I did have this experience once when I was playing a pantomime dame, and I had to find not one, but several. And it wasn't at all easy, because I found I was looking rather like my aunt. And that would have been embarrassing had she been alive. And I was actually...
So Peter Jones was speaking as the whistle went, gained another point, and he's still in the lead, just ahead of Victoria Wood. Kenneth Williams and Derek Nimmo are both trailing a little in third and fourth place, respectively. And Derek, your turn to begin. The subject is tips. Will you tell us something about those in the game, starting now?
What I was really sad about was when the 10-shilling note went out of operation, because there was something awfully nice about handing a dorm a 10... Oh, yes. Never mind. It doesn't matter. We've already established if your attention is drawn to it, because...
Victoria Wood has challenged you.
Have I? Yes, I have.
She repeated the word 10.
He certainly did.
Yes.
I
And
spotted
so
it myself.
Very quick the way you picked that up, Victoria.
Yes. I was in like a flash.
Right. Victoria, repetition, you have the subject. There are 47 seconds on tips, starting now.
The bother about tips is that you're never quite sure who you're supposed to give them to. I think the rule's quite clear on taxis. I think if you don't give one to a taximan, you're in big trouble, and I tend to...
Kenneth.
Give, try. Yes, there's no question about the driver being the person to tip if you're in a taxi. I think that's quite clear.
Kenneth, you have the subject of tips, and there are 37 seconds, starting now.
Those steel tips some people have on their shoes really give me the willies. I can't stand that awful click noise that goes on the whole time. And the tips on fags are very me, because you don't get all those bits of the tobacco sticking to your lips, which can be so very annoying. The other tip, which I often think of with a certain amount of amusement, is the one that's given you by the would-be know-all who says, here's a good tip for it.
Victoria.
Repetition of ear. Ear's a good tip.
Ear.
Ah, but like you used the word suit in two different senses. One was an ear hole and the other was here.
I think that was well listened. So, Victoria, 2 ears, and you have the subject, and you have 3.5 seconds on tips starting now.
The trouble about...
And Derek Nimmo.
It was a real hesitation.
I'm
I think
afraid
that was
so,
a real
yeah.
mistake.
She just doesn't come in. I think she's a bit of an invalid. I don't think she can really hear.
She's suffering from train lag.
Yeah, so you never stop reminding her.
Well, if she is, she's in the right group, isn't she?
Derek, you have another point, and you have 2 seconds on tips starting now.
I know, retired general, have to go round tips and start at cards.
Well, Derek Nimmo got the point for the speaking as the whistle went at the end of the round, and we have come, alas, to the end of the contest. We have enjoyed this. We hope you have. Have you enjoyed it? Do you want to stay on and do another recording? Yeah, you're not very keen, are you? I'm glad we're not doing another one. Let me give you the final score. Kenneth Williams, giving his usual good value to the programme, finished in 4th place. Who has been known on occasions to have a runaway win, finished in 3rd place. And in 2nd place... well, no, actually, I've just seen something. In 1st place, we have joint winners. Not only our guest, all the way from Morecambe, Victoria Wood, alongside one of our regulars, Peter Jones, our joint winners. We hope that you have enjoyed this edition of Just a Minute, and we'll want to tune in again same time next week when once again we take to the air and we play this ridiculous, delightful, and almost impossible game. Until then, from all of us here, goodbye.
The chairman of Just a Minute was Nicholas Parsons. The programme was devised by Ian Messiter and produced by Pete Atkin.